all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Does anybody see anything up there that says everything will work out and be good? Everything will be good all the time. Has he promised us no bad would come to us? Has he promised us it would always be good? The reason we have to have trials, the reason we have to have tribulations is so that we can see how big our God is. There are so many out of control situations that we look at sometimes. If you remember, I had said there was a lady in our church that made our church feel like a morgue. She had control over the finances because her finances kept the lights on, kept the church going. And she was good at running pastors out of the church every couple years. Well, my husband decided, no, I'm going to preach the word. I'm going to say, do what God tells me to do. Do you know when she left? Now, there was a couple that left with them, but our attendance tripled and our time doubled. So God used that time to do what he needed to in that church. And all that led to my deliverance too. So if she hadn't been acting up, I wouldn't have found myself face first before God, looking to see where he was. One time we were house hunting, and it seemed like no matter what we did, the doors would close. There was one house in particular, we felt this is the one God has for us. And we pursued every avenue to get it, and the door closed. Well, we thought God just wasn't listening to us. Do you know, a year later, that house burned to the ground. If we had been able to get that house, it would have been our house that burned to the ground. Sometimes we feel like he's doing nothing. Sometimes we feel like he's far away. Most of the time he wants us come to him like children and just say, help me, Dad. I can't do this. And if it doesn't work out the way you want it to, he's already in your tomorrow. So he knows what needs to be done. He's there throughout even eternity. I mean, it doesn't matter where we go, he's there. I'd like to read something, if you would stand with me. This is taken out of Ephesians chapter 3, verse 14. For this reason I kneel before the Father, from whom every family on earth and in heaven derives its name. I pray that out of his glorious riches he may strengthen you with power through his Spirit in your inner being, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. It's the faith that gets us through, knowing God is always there, knowing God always loves us, knowing that no matter what happens, he is going to see us through. And I pray that being rooted and established in love, you may have power all together with the Lord's holy people to grasp how wide, how long, and how high, and how deep the love of Christ is. And to know this love that surpasses knowledge. We cannot understand it, how he does the things If there is something you're worried about today, if there is something you need to give over to God or make right before God, this can be for mothers or it can be for anybody. I'm going to ask Mercy to give something to each mother. Can you show me what